Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of unThreaded TV, unThreaded podcast. We're still figuring out the names, but how are you lovely people doing? How's it going over there? Let's
What
start
up?
with
What
you,
up?
Lee. How's it going? How was your week this week?
My week has been amazing. I've been living it up in Olympic Village in my room and watching all the Olympic events. And yeah, just pretty much not doing anything but that.
And don't let her be too humble. She gets the gold medal for Olympic engagement on Threads too. She has been
For
blowing
real.
up, blowing up.
She's
It's
the
one thing.
Olympic correspondent for unThreaded TV, so
She
she's the
really
go-to
is.
follow.
For real.
She's the go-to follow.
Happy
Ty,
to.
Ty Dodger, man. What's
What's
up,
up, big
brother?
dog?
How was your week?
It was good, man. Remarkably easy compared to what it was, the week before getting ready to open the restaurant. Once that thing is open and running, it's a whole lot easier for me. I made sure to take half days all week, make sure that I was getting that rest back in and, was chilling. I'm getting back to it tomorrow. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Jesse, how's
Oh, man.
Harrison? How's
He's-
Harrison? You just put him
he's
to
good.
bed?
He's good. Yeah, I was telling y'all because we always start these really late. I was trying to get him down for the night, and usually my strategy is to read him a baseball biography, which is just so painfully boring to him that he can't help
And-
but surrender to sleep.
And Harrison, for everyone that doesn't know, Harrison is Jesse's son. How old is he,
Yes.
Jesse?
He's 7 years old.
Nice. Wait, 7 years old. Do 7-year-olds get bedtime stories these days?
Well, I still kind of force it upon him. So he's like
Okay.
a little behind his grade level in reading, which is
okay.
common across the
I
board
was gonna
coming
say,
out
that's
of
normal.
COVID and two. But yeah, we're like trying to hit the storytelling hard. And he's been picking it up a lot this summer, just like locking in reading. So we had a really good week reading wise. But yeah, the baseball reading is more of just a it's like serotonin or whatever. Just
Bro,
settle down here.
Please tell Harrison.
Melatonin.
Melatonin, that's what.
Serotonin gets you up.
Serotonin for me, melatonin for him.
Jesse, tell Harrison that I think I fully learned to read fully at like the age of 19, bro. I swear, bro. Like comprehension and everything. So tell Harrison that he has some time, man.
He will love to hear that, and his just like his rejoinder is always like everything's on YouTube, and it's hard to deny that like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just gonna be
Yeah.
like where he learns everything. But
That's my soul brother because I feel the same, man.
well, but you don't spend your time watching Skibbity Toilet, which I know I told you guys about the Skibbity Toilets.
Nah. I don't
Then we're
do
gonna
that,
have to have
man.
a whole episode on Skibbity Toilets, but
I don't do that, man. For me, my week been solid, bro. I decided that I want to run for councilman next year in 2025. I posted
Right,
on
that's
Reddit.
right.
I got mad love, so I think my mindset has been shifted. I think I got to be less silly at times. I got to be more like,
Stately?
yeah,
Stately,
let the citizens
presidential.
know that I've been thinking about some things. Like I've
Oh,
been
you was
thinking
real silly
about
today
y'all.
on Threads, though. Let me
you
tell
put
you.
Oh
those-
yeah, we gonna get to that.
Oh yeah,
This is my
Set
last
the
day
record
being silly,
straight.
guys. It's the
you're-
last day of the old Jhamar. The new Jhamar is going to appear after this, man. I
He said he
promise.
brand new. Y'all don't know
Will you
him
show
now.
the audience, Jhamar? Will you show them the glasses perched on the tip of the nose? Because that's a very stately pose, I think. Just
Your no glare.
there you go.
This is
Yeah,
called the no
that's-
glare.
like,
Because
put
when
that
I
on
go
the,
like this,
It's very
it's
the
glare.
rent is too high look. I like it.
put that on the hope poster, man. This say dope.
Yeah, got it. Yo, but listen, before we get into the show, y'all know what time it is, man. Pop culture moments of the week. Let's start with you, Jesse. What was your pop culture moment of the week?
So mine actually came today. I know last week was our politics episode, so I'm not trying to rehash that. But when the Harris campaign announced Tim Walz as their VP pick, he is the governor of Minnesota. And y'all know I'm from Minnesota. I rep the Midwest pretty proud. And today on the timeline was just like nonstop Midwestern dad jokes. So it hit real close to heart for me. Just everybody talking about like, yeah, Tim Walz is actually in my backyard right now cleaning my grill, or Tim Walz just fixed my carburetor. Tim Walz just gave me like a $20 bill and told me to like have a safe trip. Just some really wholesome Midwestern dad humor, and I was here for it, as I'm sure y'all can imagine.
That's dope, man. Shout out to Tim Wall. Shout out to Kamala. Know what I mean? Yeah, got our support for sure. Ty Dollar. Ty Dodger, Ty Dollar. I got so many
You
nicknames
already
for
know.
you,
You
man.
already know.
What was your pop
Uh,
culture moment of the week, my brother?
Mine was the 1 year anniversary of the fade in the water when
What
in
the freak
Montgomery
is that?
in Montgomery, Alabama, when a security guard was about to get jumped by a few drunk, less than nice white people. He threw his hat up requesting service, and a bunch of people with chairs. I got a celebratory chair in the back. Um, Showed up ready to fight, and they was swimming across the water, teleporting over there, all doing what they had to do to make sure that I say poor security guard. Clearly, he had the support of the people, making sure he could go home safely at the end of his shift.
Ty, you know what, man? I asked what the heck was that, and now I understand why I was left off that list, bro. Because how do I know about that, bro? That's crazy, man. Dang. Wait, what is it called? What is it called? The Fate in Alabama?
The fade in the water.
Oh, the
Wade,
Fate
like
in the
Wade in the water,
water.
like the slave song. It's fade in the water.
Oh,
There was a bunch of
damn.
great like names
Yeah,
and memes adjacent to it though too. I remember like the dude you were talking about, Ty, that like emerged from the water
yeah,
when he became Aquaman.
yeah.
Love it. Leigh, what was your pop culture moment of the week?
Well, not to be repetitive, but the Olympics only come around every 4 years. But it's definitely, and I did a post about this too, but it's all of the women competing in the Olympics that are being themselves, like dressing how they want, makeup, no makeup, hair, no hair. Like we just are watching them and what their ability is and how they compete, and they're making no apologies, and I love it.
Yo, that bow moment, that was a pretty cool
Yeah,
Oh
moment.
my
I saw that
God,
one.
Jesse, bro.
It was so great.
That was my pop culture moment of the week, but
I was just
Jesse
teeing
had
you
to
up.
spoil it because you
Teeing
know
you up,
Jesse
bro.
got to add his 2 cents into every single thing, bro. Holy smokes, Jesse. Jesse let y'all
I'm
know that
sorry.
was my pop culture moment of the week. How about this, Jesse? Since you want to start it, say their names. Say all of their names that was in the
Well, no,
Oh
bow
see that
gosh.
now you're putting me in the spot where
Yeah,
you know I'm gonna mess
yeah.
up.
I
Dude,
did
that
my
man was
research.
Blender.
Yeah,
I only
Ty.
know Simone Biles' name from
Oh,
that
Simone
trio.
Biles,
you got to know that.
Jordan Childs,
Yeah.
and Rebecca,
You,
dang,
you got it?
Andrade.
Close enough. It's she's Brazilian. Andrade. Yeah.
Andrade.
Yeah.
See?
I would have
Okay.
mangled all three of those, except for Simone, obviously.
Fun fact, Jordan Childs is named after Michael Jordan, and she has over 100 pairs of Jordans.
Wow.
Oh, shout out to her. Shout out to
Damn.
her, man. Listen, let's get into the show. So, y'all know the format. We have a main topic, which today is just threads. We just going to tackle some themes that we found on threads and unpack them. So, the first thread, Jesse, you want to read it for us?
Yes, sir. So we have a thread from Ruth Ware Writer. And Ruth says, "Hello, if you are fleeing Twitter, welcome. You are among friends. What you need to know is that Threads is nice, but the algorithm is a wild and unpredictable creature prone to strange enthusiasms and inexplicable blind spots. It's not you. It's the same for everyone, and it's okay when you get used to it. Also, everyone is pretty nice. Come say hello."
We got some questions. Let's start with you, Ty. Do you still number one, what do you think of that thread? Number two, do you still go on Twitter? And number three, if not, when did you stop using Twitter? Talk to us, baby boy.
Man, for one, I think that thread is very accurate. I think it's very accurate as far as like the community goes and the way to kind of handle the situation where you're coming to a new place, on the internet specifically, because the interactions, you have to temper your interactions to match what's going on threads when you're coming from Twitter. And if you don't know that, if someone doesn't tell you that, you'll come in being confrontational and then just get pushed out of these great communities that are being built because no one has time for that, really. Um, Two, I feel like I'm about to like admit to something dirty on here. Yeah,
He
I do still
still
go on
use it.
Twitter. I
He still
do.
use
I
it.
do.
You
But
an Elon
that's
bro.
the only social media that all of my real friends in real life use. So, for me to just cut that out would be kind of like cutting out how I connect with a lot of those people that I know in real life from high school and college. Um,
Is
and
your
it's
energy
also,
different in those two places?
Jesse, that was the second question.
do I act different in the two
Oh,
places?
sorry, bro. I don't mean to segue ahead.
No, it's okay.
I
No,
just
what
meant
would you
Ty
say?
personally. Like,
Oh, okay.
is Ty's energy different in those two places? For you personally, Ty, do you feel like how you come across on Twitter versus how you come across on Threads is different personas or very same
No,
energy?
not at all, actually. And it's funny because I acted the exact same way. Almost, I mean, I was a little more rude to people who jumped in my mentions, kind of a little bit more of the energy I was on first at Threads because they would normally come in confrontational. That was just a vibe of the website at the time. But it's funny because I act almost the exact same. I post like the same memes and shit and get like 2 likes over there. And then on Threads, I'll post like a funny like my Kyrie crossing over Dylan Brooks video this morning's had like 500 likes. Like, and I just woke up feeling like I needed to tell the world that I don't like Dylan Brooks. Like,
You the meme lord, bro. You the meme lord on Threads, bro. I'll give you that. The meme lord. He got the memes. Jesse,
I do.
how about you, man? Do you still use Twitter? And if not, when did you stop using it?
I think that any Twitter use I have anymore is basically only for work or if somebody links me. I don't independently go on Twitter anymore, and I think that I uninstalled it from my phone probably right around the time of the Elon takeover, because I just really don't like that dude, and I don't like the energy he like meets the world with. So, but at that time too, like I was genuinely addicted to Twitter, just like reading it. I never tweeted, and I never was like a big voracious tweeter or anything, but I was like, okay, I got to like curb my consumption of Twitter. So I took the app away and I would just browse on the desktop. But like, I think really in the course of his first year as like, the owner and like he was CEO before he appointed that lady. Um, I just kind of gradually stopped checking for it.
Wait, that lady,
Linda
Leigh,
Yacaro or something.
Leigh, could you please cam up real fast? I have to ask you a question. I need Leigh on camera. I'm sorry, Leigh. Leigh, how do you like Jesse referring to that or a woman, a high profile woman as that lady? What are your thoughts on that? Your honest thoughts. Come on, Leigh.
I
Give
mean,
it to us.
honestly, I think it could be, you can use it and it not be derogatory, but if you're like that lady, like it's really about tone inflection. But like if you're like having like a little memory thing, you're like, that lady who does the stuff. But but
I'd say there was half shade intended there.
Okay, that's all.
Because of
That's
the,
all I was
like,
getting at. I
you
felt
know.
something. I had to ask Leigh. I felt a little something, Leigh, and I had to bring you on camera to ask you, did we cross a line? And
I just
apparently, we did a
I,
little bit.
I just looked up her name. It's Linda Yaccarino. Again, I'm sure I did not get that pronunciation right, but no, I do have empathy for her because like I've been in workspaces where the C-suite is telling you what to do, and you know that they're making kind of really impulsive decisions. So I feel for her, even if she's like kind of playing for the team that I don't really have any admiration for. She had a wild video today because X or Twitter was suing the advertisers, which is like just a ludicrous lawsuit. And she had to shoot this video that like you could just tell her heart was not really in recording
Yes,
this
bro.
video with this far-fetched lawsuit.
I watched that and I saw the post on Threads or on that Elon posted on X where he was like, "Now it's war." I was like, "What?" Like that's such a whack. Like, bro, you're so whack. Like, I don't understand like how you don't realize how lame you are. Like,
He's
now it's
always just
war.
been that edgelord energy, man. Remember, like he's always posting those photos of him in the like gladiator armor and stuff. Just like, and it's weird because he used to like people used to generally kind of like him, or at least
Yeah.
he was
No,
more
bro.
like
People still
divided.
do. People still
Yeah,
do. He
some people
still
still
have
really
his
do. Yeah,
supporters out there that drive the Teslas, that
it's
have the
true.
solar panels on their roof. So let's not act like
Yeah.
his community is not strong.
I think I know what you're
That's true.
saying though, Jesse, because I think I agree with you. The general consensus more leaned his way
That's yeah. It
before.
was like normies would just be like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, he's fine." Like, "Oh, he's like,
Oh, he's trying to
Tesla
build
isn't
spaceships.
net
That's cool.
good." Yeah,
Or
exactly. Like he wasn't
yeah,
a
yeah.
like. Yes, Jhamar, you're right. He's definitely still got his supporters, but there's like a hyper polarization that happened with him.
Hmm.
I think the more public he got, and I think you can look at like the acquisition of Twitter as kind of the like catalyst moment where the people who were really fed up with his shit were kind of like, "Nah, this dude is a problem," and now it's going to be a very public problem. And then his defenders got all the more, just the hyper
Hmm.
polarization cycle that happens with every culture war issue in this country.
Yep.
Everything gets turbo boosted, so there's no
Well,
moderate feelings on him anymore.
yeah, well, he just may be a grifter because he got money from Obama, he got money from Trump, so he may just be doing things to keep his company alive, man. But we need to move on. Um, real quick, I didn't answer though, so I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to go into the second question. I got back on Twitter this week because that's where all the politicians are, so I had to go. You know what I mean? I had to go
Mm-hmm.
back on there and like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out that strategy on Twitter. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
I joined Reddit too, so that's been an experience. So,
Oh man, you just joined Reddit?
well, I have Reddit. I
Okay.
never was active in any subreddits, but
Okay.
now I just started to be active, and I'm getting some engagement in there. So,
That's dope.
Is
um,
Newark Twitter a thing? Newark? Like, does it have a good
Newark
Twitter
Twitter.
community?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's people on there. It's just I'm here to elevate the swag, man. You feel me, Ty? I gotta elevate the swag of the city, bro. But yo, let's go into the next top, or not the next topic, the next question, and the next two questions. Actually, Ty, you answered this because Jesse asked you. The question was, "What's the main thing that makes Threads feel different?" And then we have a last question. What was the first interaction that made y'all want to stick around on Threads? Let me answer those two, and then I'll pass it to you, Jesse. The thing that makes Threads feel different to me are, like you said, you hinted at this so many times, Jesse. You just said a lot of us were sick of other social platforms. So we just all came to Threads probably like around the same time, and we just wanted a different experience. So I think we were really intentional with how we show love and how we support each other. I think as it grows, it's probably hard to keep that going, but I'm interested to see what's going to happen. And secondly, the first interaction that I had that made me really want to stick around was I joined. I was like the 300,000 something user, so I was there on day one. And during that week, I had shared some music videos I directed and shot and filmed on my iPhone. It was about 5 of them, bro. Those things got so much engagement. I never got any engagement like that on any of my creative things. So I was like, wow, people are showing love on Threads, and that's the main reason I stuck around. What about you, Jesse?
So I think the thing that feels different about Threads, it takes me back to that interview that you and I were doing outside of the Threads 1 year anniversary, Jhamar, which was like, it's the sense of palpable earnestness that I think like can shine through in a place like Threads. And yet I don't ever feel like I'm lacking a, humorous or kind of meme input. It's not all earnestness, but there's just a space for that earnestness. And kind of like what you said, Jhamar, like this notion of what I've noticed about Threads in particular is it feels like it matches my age in a way that like when I'm on TikTok for work, like it's it's just not really my age folks as much. I know there are like folks my age who use it, but Threads feels like it's meeting me where my life is at. And like you said, Jhamar, like where all of our lives were at, where maybe like there was more room for that nuance. There was more room for that kind of like grown perspective. So that's really, I think, the standout difference for me is like, it doesn't feel like you have to be snarky all the time. It doesn't feel like you have to be like on guard or always have like a quip ready to go or like you're always going to get in some argument. on threads. Like certainly we've seen that happen, but I don't think that's the default mode. So that's like the big distinguisher for me from my experience on Twitter. It's just like a lot less of a combative space. And my first interaction on threads was Tanya. Tanya reached out when I had threaded about NBA threads, and she was just like the first most welcoming presence, was very like, open armed about it, and was very much like, people are good here, and just kind of welcomed me into the fold on that initial thread. And so since then, it's just kind of been like, I always try to give her props, give her flowers, because she was really the first one.
Tanya, that's so funny that's how you pronounce it, because I would have pronounced that Tanya, but
Well, I used to,
it's
but
Tanley.
but
It's
we
Tanya.
we actually researched that for this.
Yeah.
We listened to her podcast and made sure we got it right. Probably
Yeah.
because of my ass.
Shout out to Tanya. Dodger, what was the first interaction that made you stick around? And then we're going to go to the next thread.
My first interactions, well, really, it was just coming over and like just posting what I like to post, and like people messing with it. Like my intro into NBA threads was, it's a Jess thing. She's a Sixers fan, and you guys know I'm a massive Mavs fan. I go to Mavs games at a pretty decent clip during the season, and I remember posting a meme and a picture of the Mavs stadium, and then she like sent a meme of like someone throwing a thumbs down, and then we started talking. She tagged NBA threads, and then all of a sudden I was just in there, bro. Like,
So that was the first person you interacted with on NBA threads?
I think so. Unless I'm remembering wrong, I think so.
That's a perfect segue, man. That's a perfect segue. And since you mentioned it, can you read the second thread for us, Dodger?
Absolutely. Gotta turn this. And it's actually funny because it's Miss Tanya. Tanya Hales. This is from last month. And she said this: my final words to NBA threads. Twitter was my default app for a long time. I called it my digital playground. Slowly, it developed into a place that wasn't fun to be. Though Black Twitter had its moments. Enter threads, a place where video isn't king, words matter. And out of nowhere, a community is born, based on a credo of ball is life. But soon we learned about each other, and that real life is also life.
Nice. So poetic,
Very
Tanya.
poetic.
Dodger, let's stay with you, my brother. I have two
Yeah.
questions for you, and then we're going to go with Jesse. You already answered the first question. Who was the first person you interacted with?
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, why do you think NBA threads has so much staying power, and how do we keep the vibes high without gatekeeping? And Jesse, after Dodger, I'll answer, and then you're going to close it off this segment.
I think for me, I think it's got so much staying power because there was a lot of fun for me this season. Because even on, like I said, on X, all of my friends are on there. So my timeline consists mostly of my friends who are in Dallas only, almost specifically, or Houston or somewhere near here. And so I see a lot of Texas-based basketball only. The big three, like those first three teams that I think of when I think of basketball teams, are the Mavericks, the Spurs, and the Rockets, in that order. So every other time that a team would come play in Dallas, to me, they were just another group of guys coming to face the good guys. I never really had an experience experiencing the wider culture of what every team's fans have to offer. NBA Threads gave me that. And it made it even more fun to cheer for my team because I knew everybody else was cheering for theirs. It wasn't just one big bubble of Mavs fans anymore. It was, yeah, there's Mavs fans. Shout out to Leigh. But it's fun to interact with the other team's fans. It's fun when you're going into a blowout. Detroit Pistons basketball. Johnny, when he was coming to play against the Mavs at home, I remember before they got the game started, he was like, "All right, man, just we're not making any bets and don't beat us too bad." Like, it was just fun to have that little interaction where it was more than just us both cheering for the Mavs, in the little huddle, like, let's go Mavs, let's go Mavs. That's what Twitter felt like to me.
Nice. So that's why you think it has staying power because the authentic communities that's being built.
Yeah, I think it's the authentic community, of course, but I think like it's what ties us all together is like how we're all centralized around basketball, but we all centralize around the basketball we grew up with, or like that we're fans of. So it's fun to like have a circle full of fans from all over the league as opposed to just one echo chamber of Mavs fans for me.
And what about keeping the vibes high without gatekeeping? That seems like
That's a quick one for me, man. We just got to set the example. Everyone who's on there already and wants that vibe to stay has to set the example. Gatekeeping is tough if you're going to tell people no, right? So it's easier to just have people follow your example if you're doing it well. I can't really think of anything else that we can do other than just continue to be the good people we are.
Okay, interesting. For me, I don't remember the first interaction I had with someone from NBA Threads. There was a guy named Joey Pleasance because we called ourselves like day oneers. I forgot what we called ourselves. Like there was a group of us that got there early, and we would talk about basketball, but we would talk about basketball in the mix of all the crazy stuff that we spoke about. But I remember one day, y'all know me just being silly. I seen the NBA Threads movement happening. This was really early. And then I asked him, I'm like, yo, are we a part of NBA Threads? So that ties into the question about gatekeeping, where I know we joke about Rush being a mayor and stuff. Like, it's no gatekeeping, bro. Like, if you talk about the NBA and you use the hashtag NBA Threads, like, you're a part of it. There's no gatekeeping at all that's happening from my perspective. Like, who's going to gatekeep someone joining Threads and say I'm a part of NBA Threads? So for me, I look at it like, yo, just join, man. Like you don't gotta know anybody. Just come, react, say some cool, fun stuff in someone's replies, follow people, and you're part of NBA Threads. So when I saw that question, I'm like, I see why that's there, but it's also like, who's out there gatekeeping NBA Threads? Is it you, Jesse? You look like you sell tickets to be like, hey, you want to be a part of NBA Threads? Give me $25 to my Cash App.
It does sound like a great monetization strategy, but no, because truth be told, like I said, when Tanya like welcomed me in, I felt really like I was part of that. Maybe it was the moment you were talking about, Jhamar, that like felt kind of to me like it was second generation or second wave or whatever you want to call it. And even like I remember like I had threaded something about Anthony Edwards probably the week prior, and I think like Sarah had liked it. So that was like a kind of an early like sign of what was to come and what was out there. But the first time that I reached out and used the hashtag was when I had that interaction with Tanya, and that was when like I was like, okay, this is like a community. So I felt like I was part of the second wave. So I certainly would feel way out of place having any sort of gatekeeper energy around the community just by nature of not feeling like it was mine to begin with. And I think what you say is true, Jhamar, that I don't think it's necessarily like any one person's community to gatekeep. But I certainly feel like there were forebears that like carried on and built that community before I was ever involved. So I think it's really important to me to kind of uphold that energy. But
with that said, Jesse, do you think it has staying power? Everything that we built up so far, or the community's built up so far, is this staying power there?
I think so, and I think it's that there's just a really palpable sense of good naturedness, and I think that for me, the stretch when I was kind of side eyeing it and just like had a little skepticism as to whether the good vibes could endure was during the playoffs, just because I know like historically on Twitter and just me as like a sports fan, I mean, I've told y'all in the past too that like I can get really antagonistic. I can get really fired up about my teams.
Know.
Hell yeah, you can.
I know. Because Minnesotans have that chip on their shoulder.
I've seen it in live action. I told y'all. He gets crazy, man.
Totally. And so I think like I was watching throughout the playoffs, not only for Timberwolves discourse, but like every team's discourse. I was just seeing like, hey, everybody had a really fun, wholesome regular season, but is this going to be the vibe through this more contentious kind of squaring off? And I felt like you saw a little bit more of that maybe chippiness back and forth. You certainly saw some like hotter takes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But overall, I was really impressed and I was really hopeful because it didn't feel like it gave way to kind of the hot take merchants that like ran amok on Twitter.
Hot take merchants, Ty.
I just wanted to say I am very proud of myself for this playoff run because at the beginning I committed to only talking about the Mavericks and almost never bringing up the other team as much as possible, and I did pretty damn good. I think the only one...
Nas Reed accepted.
I like Nas Reed. I think there was a little anger when I said I'd love to see him on the Mavs. Some people took that as trash talk, and I was like, what do you mean? I want the second best shooter in the league behind Curry on my team.
Well, and that was, I think it was funny because that was then for me, just because I saw, there are people keeping the vibes high, at least from my personal standpoint. I wanted to set that example. Like both of you kind of put it out. It was like, keep that energy that you want to see in this community. And so like when we swept the Suns, I think I gave a shout out to Kai because I was like, I would prefer kind of the best of our sports fandoms rises to the top. And then of course, when the Mavs beat us, if that even happened, my memory's not clear on that. I made the meat roll video just because I thought that would nasty work. But I made that video because it was funny, you know. It was not no like real shots taken or anything like that.
No, yeah, for sure.
Ty, your inflammatory remarks about Nas Reed and your general chipperness about your team's triumph has led me to madness, and I must get revenge. You ready for this abomination, Ty? So we take a disgusting, flabby piece of processed meat, and here's where it's gonna get real disgusting for you. I'm gonna desecrate this meat. Oh, you gotta hate that. Think about it, Ty. This could have been delicious smoked pork shoulder. You cannot protect your precious meats. Calling this the meated up roll. Look at that nasty shit. This is exactly how it's supposed to be served too. Looking like absolute garbage. This is what your Nas Reed thread has brought us to.
Leigh, this she is. We need a woman perspective from the NBA Threads community. Do you think the NBA Threads or what we built so far has staying power?
Yeah, absolutely. To the point that I've never used a social media app like this. I've never wanted to. John was actually the one who told me about it, and then he's kind of telling me about NBA Threads, and I was like, oh, well, okay. And but then I got on, and I think I actually went deeper than he did, ultimately. So it feels like I felt old saying this, but it's true. It feels like what Jesse said. It's an adult place. Like people are respectful, and when people aren't, like a group of people will be like, you can leave. And so it feels like,
well, Leigh, that didn't happen to me. And we about to go into the third and final thread because I was antagonized today and nobody said you can leave. If anything, they put laughing emojis on it. And I'm like, you do this to me? Jhamar Youngblood?
I know where Ty lives.
I turned this. Nah, Ty good. Ty safe. Let me read the last. Ty, you got something to say before we get into this?
I was gonna say, man, you just gotta. Hey, man, you go ahead.
Yeah, Ty. Let me do my thing. We're gonna get there. Come on, Ty. We're gonna get there. You're gonna have a lot to say about this. So the third thread, I usually ask you two gentlemen to read because, like young Harrison and I, reading is not our first things, but we're gonna figure it out. We optimistic. But I'm gonna read this because it's my thread. Firstly, this was a quote thread. This wasn't a regular thread. So this wasn't just something that popped up. I was inspired off my brother Ty Dodger here. And let me read Ty Dodger's first. He says, as someone who grew up around a lot of confident black people, women and men, it has been really fun lately to find a little unapologetically black community here on Threads. I know I'm missing a few, period. And then he went off to name, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He went to name 13 people that I'm assuming for right now are black people. So I'm assuming for right now they're black. I don't know. I don't know, Top. I don't know. So I woke up and I see Ezra ask you. He was like, yo, what's up, man? Like what's up? Like I didn't do enough. I didn't go to war with the liberal nation over the black people.
Hey man, you don't. Nah, man.
Hey man, let me cook real quick. I'm gonna be done in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm gonna be done. So Ezra like, yo, what's up? So I'm like, oh man, it's an opportunity here to double down on our boy Todd Dodger. So I added my spice. I said, I'm just up. I know I said just. I didn't say I said just up thinking about how Ezra and I were left off the first ballot of the Threads Blackness Hall of Fame. But I will work harder. You can bet that. That leads me into the first question we have is what's the worst interaction you've had on Threads? Bro, I was chilling. I'm having fun with Dodger. I'm replying to people. And then somebody said, nah, let me go to this, bro. I gotta read this because I gotta do this.
Hold on.
No, go. Yeah, go.
You know
Tom.
who this is? Who he's saying somebody just came at him crazy?
This is a known entity? This is a known entity?
Well, someone that I'm pretty sure y'all know. Olive Winter writes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so let me real quick. So
there's like was she included in the list?
Yes, she was. But can I explain how I made the list? Though?
She. I didn't know who this person.
Yeah, it's a she. Yeah, it's a girl. There's like a small group of women on Threads who don't use their real picture as their picture that are meme monsters. Let me tell you. And she's a part of the little group. I'm friends with that group, as you saw all the memes.
Of course you are, Ty. Of course you are. Go ahead. Continue.
We share memes. I take memes.
I get it.
Memes. But so you know her. Y'all know what she's like.
I don't know this woman, man.
Hey man.
I don't know this.
Go ahead and read it out.
Call her. Let me finish it. I'll call her anonymous piece of energy because I'd never even seen this woman on my Threads experience. And clearly I know why I didn't see it because she came in hot. Let me read what this woman says. Step up. No, she said, step your pom-pom game up so you can make the list next time. So I swear I wasn't even offended by that, bro. Jesse, that didn't do it, bro. Jesse, that was not that did it. I'm like, yeah, yo, people.
I'm trying to stay out of this one because
no,
I have
to
actually confess this to you guys, but I am a white man.
Hey, Jesse, it's okay. It's not about white or black. This is about positive, or this is about high frequency energy and low frequency energy.
And you felt that she met you with negative energy?
It's not about her. This is not about her because I don't know her. So like, no strangers are gonna alter my mood. So I'm like, whatever. I see this. And then I'm like, okay, let me go see who's going to give this woman some little boosted engagement. Right? I said, let me go check this. First I had to look and see what pom pom meant. I looked up pom pom and it means vagina, Jesse. So I'm like, this.
But isn't it the cheerleader like pom poms?
No, that's POM.
Oh, it's just is a different word.
PUM.
This is a different word, Jesse. PUM. She told me to step my vagina game up so I can make Todd Dodger's list next time. I'm thinking like, yo, what type of freak stuff is going on? Does Todd Dodger know these people? Have they been having orgies and stuff? Why she talk about my vagina? I didn't know, Ty. I didn't know. I didn't know this part of your people, Ty. So let me finish. I went to the replies. I'm like, who is going to give this anonymous piece of energy some boost so this post can go viral? I look. The first person I see is Yo Rush with 3 laughing faces, bro. And I'm like, the same Yo Rush I shouted out on the NBA Thread song. The same Yo Rush, I'm in the comments of his him and his wife YouTube videos showing love. I'm like, wow, yo, Rush. Then I looked at the likes. I'm like, oh my God, this is what this community think of me. But I digress, Ty. I'm going to tell y'all that's the worst interaction I ever had. I know you guys are going to share your thing, but this was hot off the press and I had to let it
And it
go,
was
man.
today
Y'all
too.
trolls,
Damn, man.
listen, y'all trolls, man. If you don't show your face, I don't respect you. I respect Todd Dodger, because he always shows his face. And if you don't show your face on there, man, I don't respect you. But Olive, I did give her a follow, so I don't know. Hopefully we could become better and we can move on. But I had to get that off my chest, Ty. Now
Nah,
you
I
can
feel
go,
you.
Ty. I'm
I
sorry.
feel you, man.
I
I
had to
feel you.
rant, bro.
I feel you. It's hard. It's hard if you don't know how they all act for
Bro, I'm not
for to
mad at
cut
her.
you up. No.
I'm mad at the people who want to boost that post. That's
Oh, I
what
was.
did it for
I
me.
want
We
her to
was.
be a guest now, though. I want her
We
to
were
come
memeing.
in
Yeah,
and
Please
give us
honor.
some
no, we
Please.
were
energy.
memeing though. That's what that was, bro. It wasn't about the interaction of the post. It's if someone drops a funny meme, you got to drop a funny meme back. It's like a meme off. You can't. Whoever stops first
Bro,
loses.
The
me
rules
doing
of
a meme
engagement.
off versus a black woman after she called me a vagina, she already took it there, bro. She took it there. She took it there. And I'm like, oh, okay, you took it
I
there.
think if it was a dude acting like that to you, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, bro? What you doing? Why you talking to him like that?"
Oh,
But
so that's why Yo Rush laughed, because it was a black woman?
yeah, well, probably just in general. She
Oh.
she she is a black woman, but it would have been funny if a white woman said it
Have
to you.
anyone ever seen this woman? Or no? Or y'all just assuming?
No, she's posted pictures of herself before.
Okay. Oh, I was about to say it
Yeah.
might be some funny business going on. But
No,
if
I
she
mean, it's
posted,
still. I mean, that's always still a possibility. But I've
wow,
known her pretty
Olive.
well.
Olive is a catfish, bruh. Show
Oh
your
hell
face.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
Oh
do
hell
this. I
no.
told you I'm ready to pie. I told you, Ty. I told you
Hey
when I
man,
saw
she.
that, and I'm gonna clip it and I'm gonna tag her and I'm gonna say, do not mess with me anymore, Miss Black Woman. I love black women. I swear I love black women.
You leave
But
me
don't call
alone.
me no vagina. Don't
No,
call me no vagina. And Rush, don't laugh
she
at
didn't
somebody
call.
calling me a vagina.
She didn't call you that though.
This is getting clipped for
She
sure.
didn't.
She called me that, bruh. She
She
told me
didn't. She was being funny. She
step my
told you
pump.
to.
She said step my vagina game up. All right, translate that in meme language. I want to hear this.
If a woman tells that to a woman, that means get better at sex.
Bro, I'm a man, bro. What's she telling
I
me?
know she's just using it. That's a thing in memes. Is
You
that
know
every
what? I'm
meme can be
sorry.
used for the other gender? If you,
Actually, hey,
I'm
producer
still tripping
Leigh.
off Pum Pum. I've never.
Wait, producer Leigh, please stay out
it's
of
a
this
Rihanna
one.
thing. Rihanna started saying it in songs.
Okay.
I was going to bring producer Leigh up
I
there,
guess
but I don't
Jamaican
want her
music and all.
involved in this. This is me. This is my smoke. This is not unthreaded TV. This is just me. If you got something to say about anybody, say it to me. Because I'm not scared of none of y'all trolls, man. I show my face out there. You feel me? Anyway, Jesse, man. Jesse, let's finish this segment off. I'm sorry. I had to
No,
rant. Me and Todd Dollar had to get that off our chest. That's all.
I'm glad.
That's
I
all.
hope there was healing here. I hope that I
Okay.
can feel the energy in the room, and I hope there was healing here for
But
you,
seriously,
Jhamar.
Jesse, let's make this professional again. I'm sorry, everyone. What was the worst interaction you've had on Threads? Number one.
Okay.
Two, does Threads have better or worse safety features compared to other platforms? And number three, if you can remember, will Threads maintain a positive energy with a massive influx of Twitter users?
Okay. So my worst interaction was also recently. I've heard a couple folks echo this, but I think when you do go viral, let's say you get over, I don't know, 100, 200 likes, that's when you start getting into these parts of Threads that is not the NBA Threads circle. And you start getting mentions from non-mutuals that maybe don't have this, they don't understand you, they don't know your wavelength or whatever. So I wrote this thread about experience I had camping in the Catskills with my buddy, where we had to go buy firewood. It was late at night, and we ended up in this tavern, and it was just like very MAGA country. Everybody in the bar was wearing MAGA stuff, and it wasn't like they were grilling us up, but it was pretty evident that we were from the city, and it was just like different energy, different vibes. and this dude came over. He was a retired cop, and he was, chatting us up, and he was telling us about his life, and he had, some kind of like sad divorce guy energy about him. He told us his kids were no contact, and his girlfriend had declined to move with them. He just moved to the area. Anyway, had this long thread about kind of our interaction with him and kind of him going to this like really wild mode when they showed a picture of Trump on TV, where he started talking about like how if he'd gotten assassinated, it would have been a civil war. And he just had this kind of gleeful, unsettling energy about him. And it kind of blew up. People were all talking about it. But this dude came into my mentions that I didn't know. And he was like, folks from the city want to come around here, and they all want to act like they're in a David Lynch movie. And I was like, this is something we work on with my son Harrison. Is like, I just asked him like, hey, what's your intent here? Because I don't know if you're like trying to like be a dick. I certainly feel that energy, but like, what's your intent here? And he was like, oh, well, I drive around the Catskills every day of my life, and I'm just calling bullshit on your story. But congrats on the engagement, bro.
Hey,
And
Jesse,
I was just like,
hey Jesse, I'm sorry. David Lynch. Can you give me more some context real quick?
he's
really
the director. He did like Twin Peaks. He did like Blue Velvet. He did Mulholland Drive. These movies that Eraserhead. These movies that kind of are like creepy psychodrama, weird, tense in energy. So he was basically just saying that I had either invented this story or embellished this story.
Okay,
and
gotcha,
I think he took offense because he lives and he works in the Catskills. Because I actually looked at his profile, and like he makes really dope art. He takes awesome photographs of cabins in the Catskills. And so maybe he was taking offense to the fact that the story took place in this setting that he was familiar with. But he basically was insinuating that I was lying, and like I just didn't appreciate that. And then for him to pivot it as if like I was also just engagement farming, I took offense to that too, because like I was responding, I was quote tweeting this dude who was like, have you even ever had a conversation with a conservative? And I was like, I mean, yes, I have. And like my partner, her dad's like a former Long Island cop. Like I know exactly the dude that we were drinking with. And like that energy was exactly how I wrote it. And I also felt like I was very careful and intentional in making sure that dude, as represented in my retelling of what happened, had agency and wasn't just like a hollow kind of one-dimensional dude. So I just didn't appreciate this guy. Again, maybe it was just the geographical like location. He took offense to feeling like his area was being picked on or miscategorized or whatever. But I wasn't even talking about the Catskills as a whole. I was talking about this specific tavern. And I think I even wrote back to him, well, I don't care if you believe me or not. But then, the more I was thinking about it that day, it was like, well, of course I do care. That stuff like sticks with you, and it hurts, especially if you're a writer. Like you don't want to be called a liar.
Okay, yeah. That's what I want to confirm, that it was the worst interaction because he called you a liar.
Yeah, it was just the calling me a liar and like the insinuating that like it was all for likes or something. And I just, I was just retelling something that had happened to me that was pertinent to this dude's thread. And I was quote threading that. And I didn't know it was going to blow up like that. And I certainly wasn't like fishing for likes. I wrote it in a way that I thought was like reflective of what actually happened and like captured my experience. And I wasn't trying to like embellish or go David Lynch. That's just like, there are dudes out there, especially a lot of ex-cops, who have that kind of energy about them. And to me, it's unsettling, bro. Like it really is. So,
bro, listen, at least you didn't get called Poom Poom, but
that's true. He did not include Poom Poom.
But the last two questions: does Threads have a better or worse safety feature? Have better or worse safety features compared to other platforms? And real quick, if you can, because Ty still has to go. Will Threads maintain a positive energy with a massive influx of Ty's people?
Yeah, I would say so. I know that folks seem to be really fond of the block feature and the hide for all feature, which I think are two really great instruments at our disposal as users to kind of filter out some of those unpleasant experiences, especially the hide for all. I think is a really powerful thing if you don't want somebody quoting your thread and misconstruing you, or twisting what you said around, or like, you know, taking what you said or what you wrote in bad faith. I think those two features do show at least like intent on the developer's part to safeguard from some of that behavior. I think that there are times where it doesn't go far enough, and there are certainly times where like those mechanisms, maybe because they're automated and at scale it's just really hard to do, fail for people, because we see a lot of things that either the subtext is really dark or like still feel kind of violently charged that are not regulated. And I think even someone, we were looking at some threads in our research where somebody was like, I'm seeing death threats on here, and I'm not, that's not like rising to the level of harassment. Whereas in the meantime, we see people get banned all the time for things that feel really innocuous, like, you know, Tanya and Unk and Monique, Totes Postmodern, like they get banned for things that just did not seem offensive at all. But I would say, like, from a developer standpoint, the impulse seems there, and that's a good thing.
I like that word, innocuous, and I'm gathering context clues. It means harmless, right?
Yeah.
Nice. And Ty Dodger, I know you have so many worse interactions, but I know you have so many, bro. You could list them on for years, but tell us your worst on Threads. Tell us your idea about the safety features. Is it better on Twitter? Is it better on Threads? And lastly, once your friends from your hometown and other Twitter users start to come over to Threads, what do you think of the vibe? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
All right. Honestly, my worst interaction. It's funny because I had a lot of arguments on Threads starting out because I was not afraid, and I'm still not. So don't come crazy to me. But there was a guy. I mentioned something about Canada, not even in a bad way. I think it was talking about how I wanted to bring the Stanley Cup and have it stay in America and stay in Florida. And this random guy from Canada came in and was like, well, you can keep the Stanley Cup and your school shootings. And I was like, all right, bro. Like normally I'll mess with you for a little while, but you start making fun of
sure
that.
That wasn't Bone, bro? That sounds like
Bone would never say something like that.
All right. I'm joking, Bone.
But he said that, and so I was like, we're not about to have a grief off, but we can. Like, your country's done some really bad stuff too, bro, and it's still going on. I won't even go in depth because I shouldn't have even engaged with them this way where I started bringing that up. But when I did bring up some points, a lot of people in the NBA Threads community were like on my side. And I was like, all right, good. Because I was afraid I was going to have to get real disrespectful with this dude. Like,
wait, Todd, now do you feel my pain, right? Because today.
Those aren't the same, bro. We're not going to sit here and compare those two.
Nobody came to my side today, but it's okay. Continue. I'm sorry to cut you.
Well, it wasn't that I needed them to come to my side. I was just, whenever it did start happening, I could just let the people comment on my stuff or at him. A lot of people added. They mentioned a bunch of people, like mentioned him specifically. That was happening a lot back then too. Whenever somebody was like really ruining the vibe, it was like everybody would kind of dogpile.
Yeah, I remember that.
And get out of there. But that so that was my worst interaction. It went on for a while. It was like all day. I remember I was at work seething, like bro, that's not funny. Like, I don't know why you think that's something you could joke about.
And I'm sorry, I need to make a correction because Bone put the red flags in the chat. Listen, everyone, Bone wanted me to let him know that he was on Ty's side and it was not him. I'm just being silly.
Bone might have even been in that interaction.
Yeah.
I feel
Bone
like
said he was defending you.
Yeah.
So it was Bone's cousin. It wasn't Bone. It was his cousin. It's all right.
There was a bunch of people who jumped in on that. I'm not even going to start naming people.
I'm joking, Bone.
But
that wasn't Roy Schnitzel, was it?
That was after Roy Schnitzel. This was a lot more recent. That was a fucking, man, that guy was wild. Just throwing every slur he knew out there, boy.
Wait, Todd, what do you? Oh, what are your thoughts
Um,
on the safety features and
yeah.
then the influx of Twitter users?
Well, the safety features, I think they're good to have. I mean, I grew up with my online experience never using them, so it was tough for me to start using them and start. I still don't even think I can like fairly judge most of what people ask for on this app because all my Twitter experience was just posting memes, replying to friends, and then closing the app. It wasn't like something that I was super deep into the experience of. I'm normally only use the block features really. I kind of even slowed down using hide for everyone because I think if your opinion's bad enough, I should leave it up for people to see.
Wow,
Um,
free speech time. Wow. I'm impressed, my brother.
yeah, I'll leave it up and I'll reply to you too. And my reply is going to be a lot nicer than it would have been 4 months ago, but it's still going to stay up.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Um, will Threads maintain a positive energy with the massive influx of Twitter users? No, no, it won't. But
Yeah, savages, huh?
we can just do our best. We can just do our best, bro. We can stay, hopefully what they were talking about today is something that's like lists so that we can start to stick within, our groups of people and kind of filter out the outside nonsense and kind of treat it more like a real social media instead of like a town gathering hole where we're all just kind of talking into the void.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all. That's
Nice.
tough.
Yeah, we have producer Leigh on camera for this last, I guess we're calling it closing segment because it went well the first time. So we're going to do it again and it's here to stay. Ty said it's here to stay. Leigh said it's here to stay. Jesse said it's here to stay. And Bone said it's here to stay. So we're closing every episode out with a would you rather. And today's would you rather is would you rather go the rest of your life without being able to see or without being able to taste? We're going to go Leigh, Jesse, Ty. I'm going to close it out. Let's go, Leigh.
This is this is actually a really hard one because if I could do one thing for the rest of my life, it'd be travel and eat food. So I'm gonna just say if I can't do neither, then I'm gonna say both. I don't want one without the other. I don't
Oh my
think.
God,
Great.
Leigh.
That's an interesting
Great.
take.
Usually people try to get both, but you're just like both in a positive way. You're like, nah, just strike me down.
Wait, y'all gonna let
Take it
Leigh
all away.
slide and not actually answer this?
Yeah, I'm a little upset by that too, Lee. I
Yeah,
think
like, come on. I'm sorry to be the only one to call her out, but come on, guys.
we need
Okay.
higher pum pum
Y'all too soft
energy.
on the woman. It's like, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I I guess I would choose the loss of sight because man, food is just so good. And I guess like I've seen some amazing, incredible things that you can only see with your eye to understand it. So, but I guess without, I don't think I'd know what I'm missing as much. But hearing people talk about food all the time would be rough. Like I got COVID real late, and I couldn't taste for like a week, and it was the worst
Damn.
week of my life.
Yeah, I am in agreement with that. I just think that the best flavors are just too indescribably great, and that even if I could see everything, the natural beauty of the world, just eating would cease becoming like anything pleasant. It would just become like sustenance for energy, and that would just be very, very sad to me. Plus, I would hope that like I know it's late in the game, so I probably wouldn't get any of the like you know maybe enhanced other features, but I'd hope I would get some kind of like payoff of having like amazing hearing or just becoming like a musical, Stevie Wonder esque savant.
Jesse, that first part of your answer was just so eloquent, man. You speak so poetic. You
Oh,
just
thanks,
mix the
man.
words together and just, it sounds like Dead Poet Society, like you're watching Dead Poet Society.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Def Jam poems in here.
Dodger, I think we know what you're going to say, man. So just give it to us. Pause.
Man, you could take my taste for real.
Really? The chef.
Bro, y'all want to walk around with this like a walking stick
Yeah, Dodger.
and like have a dog lead you
You
around?
didn't say anything about me. You just said you can't see.
I've heard that blind people too, like that there is like a sense of objects.
I'm sure there is, but also, what if someone moved the chair?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Dodger.
You
Honestly,
could get a dog.
Dodger,
I don't
listen.
mind. I don't mind. I don't know. I fine. That's fine. Take my whatever. I feel like I'm one of those people who would eat the Jetsons pill. That's like roast beef or whatever instead of having
I'm
like an
just
actual
shocked
dinner.
that the best chef amongst us all is like,
There's just something about being able to see and like operate fully. Like that'd be strange to me to be in a world of like all darkness all the time. And I understand there are people who have to live with that, but like as someone who never had to, I could only imagine the struggles that they go through with that kind of a life. I don't think I would hope to never.
Dodger. I stand corrected. But I'm with you. I don't care about taste, man. I'm not a foodie. Actually, if I didn't have taste, bro, I would have a way better body right now. I have a 6-pack.
Hey,
I don't
facts,
care.
Bro, yeah.
I don't care about taste. If I cannot eat or not sleep for the rest of my life, bro, I would be so happy, bro. I would just be up doing activities every single day, all day, mad activities, bro. But then it's like, no, you got to take a break to eat, or you got to take a break to sleep. Nah, bro. So, Dodger, I'm with you, man. I need to see the haters out there that's under comments calling me a poom poom. I need to see y'all, man. You feel me?
She didn't call you that.
Yeah, you can still hear her say that.
Yeah, you just put Threads on accessibility mode, and then it can read it out loud.
That's true.
I want to hear how Siri.
We'll
Siri says "pum pum."
Oh, you know I'm gonna send that to the chat. But I think we're done. Another fun episode. And let's close it out the only way we know how to close it out, with the words of the soulful, my soul brother, Todd Dodger. Bring us home, fella.
Papa was a rolling stone. No, I'm playing. Man, as always, we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you watching. A lot of work goes into this behind the scenes, and we're trying to smooth this thing out. We love feedback. Please give us feedback. Interact with us. We all will interact back. We appreciate it, man. Y'all are the best. This community is the best team. Remember, be kind to everybody and be kind to yourself. Stay muted up.
Pulse.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.